Dramani Mahama, no pay me can say, if the Yamias say 1 man, John Dramani Mahama. Ninti, ye restoring hope and believe in Ghana because after yesterday, the general sentiment from right-thinking, fair-minded Ghanaians is that we are on the forward move. Just an opinion, make a statement be from Professor Kwame Ajeni Boateng, who is Faculty of Law and International Relations expert, or can say President Mahama is moving very fast. Yet this is the leanest and most efficient government we have had in recent years. As a Kenya government no more appointed over 123 ministers. At the end of the 8 years, and the responded to the minority. They are frustrated. They are making all kinds of attempts to reset themselves. But because we are blinded by our own weaknesses, what we are interested in is what Ghana for Omoka change. Then I have sorry, I have to say Ghana for Omo happy with us. No, you bet be so big green, the Omoka change because I can say MPP for Omo advice. Omo is very arrogant, and now Omo is closing out the space for public dissent. And Omo edi nkuku na Omo say sana ebekano defeat ye day nkugu nkuku. And to say NDC for yami ya dahoma na ya ba. I want say ye make sure say ye repeat your own mistakes.
Okay, apart from description, Afenyo Makins, Edimam 120 days in office, Imani Ghana, so Emamo 50%. Samia Uku likewise, okay, also gave you 48%. What is your reaction to Imani's assessment so far?
We accept everybody's
Sompa
interface with Yanya assessments. No? Because na expecting a question. Yeah, and I can say in 120 days, you be ABCD, about 25 major promises. And in the query I want to say, all of the 25 promises have either been done or they are in various stages of completion. Because I mean, a process, any end. Because we can say, I 120 days social contract, but my mandate is 4 years. 4 years. At the end of the day, we will be marked by the 4 years. But the 120-day contract was to communicate to Ghana for say there's an agency regarding your situation. Now, you the two na say Ghana take a some years unemployment the break project in terms of institutions are degrade you more in terms of the erosion of the trust of the public in those institutions, including the judiciary now and then MPP for under whose era almost bringing the image of the judiciary to an all-time low because of their blatant influence and tinkering of the judiciary.
And they are also describing your governance in relation to the judiciary. Same.
Now, a journalist fool. And yet he said, claims now will make what are the grounds of, is there any legitimacy to the claim that they have made that under whose watch they deteriorated the judiciary? No, almost demonstrated to save the judiciary. Now, why they destroy the judiciary in the first place? Anything that is destroyed, the Afro Barometer for a year of surveys about public perception of state and accountability institutions. No, John Dramani then in opposition. No, lead researcher. No, Afro Barometer, independent research institution. For the past 8 years, our good governance indicators were steeply declining. and Omoma read almost say the Ekufuado president has shown heavy-handed approach to dissent, and that had made even journalists to self-censor themselves. And the space for public dissent had become restricted. All key actors, civil society organizations, religious organizations, who used to find their voice in the period of His Excellency John Dramani Mahamad's government, all went mute for fear of the repercussions. Chair Franklin Kujo,
yes,
has always been consistent in his criticism of government. Yankate Franklin Kujo has some good things to say about NDC. Maybe NDC Koye Bonibia Franklin Kujo on be criticizing him, say Obeba be criticizing as he has done in the past. Franklin Kujo can never forgive this particular judiciary for what they did to the people of. Say for 4 years, a matter before the Supreme Court could not be determined effectively. And an entire constituency were disenfranchised. But under the so-called leadership of Democrats, Nana Ekufuado, Attorney General, and ensuring said Chief Justice could empanel a court of justices within hours to determine a political case. In a day, you won't be that. The optics were so clear. Well-meaning Ghanaians, voices like Professor Kweku Azar, who is not an NDC person, who has been very consistent in even his criticism of NDC in the past, has come out to say that that was a blatant desecration of the judiciary, that action. Professor Kweku Azar, not the first petition, Ekoma Nana Ekufuado, said the Chief Justice had gone beyond her powers to actually recommend a list of judges who should be promoted or put in various other courts without due reference to the Judicial Council to make those determinations. On one Omuka said those were in blatant breach to the regulations of how or the powers of the Chief Justice.
Okay, so
Mahama and can say, "No kind of phone say the group of people be ever na more to me, no much say that to me, they are going to use it to destroy our country, to enrich themselves and to elevate themselves." No. And what say young Jim who say sound for phone and son now you better sound John more they are making sure say they are reformed.
Okay, so very well said.
They are not reformed. It said they have no intention to reform themselves.
Okay, so very well said. But I don't know. One Kasamama 72%. Is that correct?
Yeah, my 72%. It is more than that. Me, as communicators, before yesterday, assessment of the key promises. As yesterday, President John Dramani Mahama's speech gave us new information about the progress of some of the specific actions. Now, can't say, okay, way in their perceptions. Remember, once you put out a thing like this, everybody will have the basis of their assessment, and they have the right to make those bases.
So, what is your basis? What is your basis of assessing?
We had 25 main promises. Before yesterday, when we did the assessment, we said that of the 25 key promises, 20 of them had been conceptualized, initiated, planned, and done in terms of the beginning of the execution. 18, appointing a cabinet in record time. We had done it. We will organize an economic forum. It was done. An educational dialogue. It was done. We will repeal obnoxious levies. It was done with the exception of COVID-19, which is in the process of being completed because of our existing IMF program now. You're negotiating here under the same NPP administration, which we have said we have to do an entire overhaul of our VAT system and rationalize the VAT system to be able to exit the COVID-19 levy with explanation. So your benchmarks in there, which ones have been done and which ones are in progress. But none of the promises, like you are making promises, and we've gone to sleep, and we have set up no committee. The committee has not worked. The committee has not prepared any report. The committee is not doing any assessment on none of the promises have not been touched. All of them. The law, the bill to regularize the student loan trust fund has been prepared. Parliament has been on recess for over 6 weeks. The next stage is to present that bill to Parliament. There are about 2 bills that have actually been prepared. Can you prepare a bill without meeting, without people sitting around, without consultation? And we must see these provisions in that light. Say, because you have not seen a completion of an action, and you all know that even all of these actions that we are taking, their real impact is going to be measured in the medium to long term. So, for example, we have appointed 60 ministers, but the effects of that 60 ministers, the efficiency of the government, will ultimately be judged by the end of our administration.
Shamima, can I please come in?
Achievements we've been able to make.
Shamima, what was the 120 days now? Moka say, winning your mom obey. And one kind of say, winning your mom, yeah. So there's a difference between your mom, why, any dear mo, yeah. How would you respond to this?
Oh, any moon framing, number one, nominate within the first 14 days, constitute the leanest and most efficient government. And Mama will quote, even Professor Stephen Adai, who has also been an avowed watcher of our democratic process, has also said that His Excellency within the 120 days has actually shown efficiency. Another mixing at the word that there's a difference between efficiency and effectiveness, and that they are not the same. Mixing has for me long ago. Establish a robust code. Because just look at the word, so nominate.
Yeah.
Constitute. This is what was in our social contract, but sometimes people want to, what you call, set their own questions and answer. You can say we will hold
Sompa
a national economic dialogue. Have we done it?
You have done it.
Established the code of conduct.
Why?
The code of conduct that was launched. And preceding the launch, can we launch an empty document?
But when him say, sir, I have a problem with that code of conduct. Let's pause over there.
Yes,
but sir, code of conduct, can we hear Mahmoudi call a year Emrashe Bedrim, Emma Emrebi Ebetatwa? Don't you think, sir, can be more effective than say, we the code of conduct, sir? I bind be ban or head on your waiting at watching you.
So, we our internal code of conduct. It does not prevent conversation about the broader public service code of conduct that will be brought. That we've heard those suggestions, and we are listening, government. We are listening, but mind you, the process of making law-making process and yet a day of event. And I in Ghana for Ghana. The problem and yet the absence of law has always been the commitment of leaders to act and enforce those laws. Montreal, Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and announcing code of conduct. And launching he reprimanded and punished appointees who had done what? Missed a deadline, which is an infraction contained in the code of conduct. Say, who breaches any aspect of the code now, based on the severity or how mild that particular conduct was, you face a number of sanctions, including a reprimand, including being asked to render a public apology, including a suspension, including even a termination if your misconduct is viewed as being very serious and even criminal. If you are terminated and you have engaged in a criminal offense, the Attorney General will still have the right to prosecute you as a government appointee.
Okay, so
these provisions now on the same day. The reason why people always say that put it in law is to force the hand of leaders to act. But I'm saying that you can make laws and with no commitment to act. the laws will not be enforced. But here we are. On the day the
Sompa
president
FM.
announced this code of conduct, he also announced sanctions. My brother, ministers losing or staffers and other CEOs losing 3 months of salary is not an easy thing, including the 1 month that he has asked all of us, leadership by example, all appointees must be aligned by his values and his vision. What are those values? The values are service, prudence in the use of public resources, non-profligate expenditures and lifestyles. Like I say, everyone must put themselves in check because they see the 4 years now. They are researching because we have come down low. Even Labour has accepted only a 10% base pay increase. So do you think we can ask Ghanaians, say, engaging in profligate expenditures? My brother, my city, since I came in, committee for all these international events we've organized, you're very lunch. If you move on civil servants to be air complete, meeting, lunch will come my end because there's no money. There is no money, and we are asking all of us to sacrifice because the one bad meeting no kwa na uti ejimomo asa one or better lunch. And you know, we are asking for a lot of sacrifices from the people of Ghana. And to me, opposite to what we are asking. So His Excellency says, no, as a leader, he will donate 6 months of his salary into the Mahama Care Fund. All other appointees, because to be elevated to that high office is an honor, and we must also make some sacrifices.
All right,
all of us have to donate 1 month of our salary, and those who were sanctioned will already they are already going to lose 3 months.
3 months plus 1 month, making it 4 months.
You can if you can forget to meet a deadline, for whatever the reasons you may have, and the consequence is losing your salary, which will be enforced. Is it anybody who will tell you, say, hey, Adi, any business as usual? His Excellency means business. And to you will face the consequences.
Okay.
Then you'll be on the country. You're steady.
Sompa FM.
Great. But Shamima, you can refer to me as Prof. Abochie. Being the
Prof.
host,
Abochie.
yes, being the host of For God and Country on Sompa 106.5 FM. My team for way the mesre, Yane Shamima Muslim, and a Dinkomo, live here on Sompa 106.5 FM for God and Country, or your deputy presidential spokesperson. But quickly, let's look at the 19th promise. Ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, roll out our 3 for Life and Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably harness the environment by turning areas and water bodies degraded by illegal mining into economic and ecological recovery hubs. I know, sir, point here, Momoka Samobaye within the 120 days, it's in consonance with Galamsey activities, Mubayi every hall. And I want to find out, so the way etoto ayamu campaign promiser, mode to just moba the LI 2462. Emma Kwayima mining or the various forest reserve. How would you respond to it?
Yes, because of the devastation now, through the activities of Galamsey and illegal mining, especially in our water bodies and in our forest reserve. Obia Gitri, expected immediate results. Mind you, baby Bruno, it's as a result of 8 years of non-committed full action. During the campaign, NDC were aligned to the cause of civil society and other environmental workers. After 8 years of hoping that all the operations upon operations that His Excellency then Nana Akufo-Addo said he was putting in place to fight the Galamsey menace, over 3 major operations that even led to the loss of the life of Major Mahama, if you can remember.
Yeah.
And the amount of money and manpower we deployed to so-called fight this menace. And by the end of our administration, we had come to a position where the situation with Galamsey was even worse than before
Sompa
the
FM.
operation started. So people question number one, political commitment to fighting the cause. Why did we have that concern? And Professor Frimpong was a minister of Nana Akufo-Addo. On an actual report saying he was being frustrated in his attempt to fight the Galamsey identity, or see there was complicity right from the office of the president, or mention names, or can say excavators are, or confiscated yet, or knew how those 400 excavators vanished into thin air. And so his thesis was that he was being fought at the highest level in his attempt to fight Galamsey. So when you hear all of these things, you come to the conclusion there is no political commitment. So there is no political commitment now. What must we do to force the hand of the political actors to act? That is why we agreed with civil society, said perhaps maybe I agree. The reports were coming on a daily basis about the state of our water bodies, the activities going on in the forest reserve, the effects of those chemicals being used in our waters and our soils on new births. The new births that were happening, the babies were deformed. It was so alarming. You see, everybody realized that we needed to force the hand of the president then to either declare a state of emergency and to repeal the LI 2462. Why? Because we had been told that there was complicity. Before normally LI never you. And the president the power to grant mining leases in forest reserve. He was the sole person who could sign on a lease to a company to mine
in the forest reserves.
And you see, that same period, the results from Minerals Commission has told us the numbers of companies who received mining leases, including Akonta Mine. And when the reports came from Joy SMH, it didn't come from CTSM, from Erastus. The president came on air to defend Akonta, that Akonta was not engaged in illegal mining. And at the end of the year, you cannot now blame, say, a NDC and not say, a Mampini John Dramani Mama. So, you call election one of your everything said, these people did not show commitment. And your Mampini John Mama, try your approach and let's see. Omampeni Baye, after he was sworn in, one of the first actions he took was to call and join, after he put his cabinet in place, one of their first briefs was to make a presentation on what we're going to do about the Galamsey situation.
Right.
So recommendations came. We set up a task force. As we are speaking, obviously we've not banned illegal mining. We have announced a ban on all such mining in forest reserves in water bodies. Why is that so? If there was no ban, would there be operations on a daily basis in forest reserves arresting people who are found mining in those forest reserves? Would there be an intervention by the Attorney General to charge companies that have been caught mining in forest reserves if there was no operationalization of a ban? If there was no ban, when we reported, say, the Joint Task Force received upon intelligence in the thick of the forest, they had set a whole community on more clay or constructive wooden structures. And that community, they be a DMB, if you can help me.
Is it Abrewa Ningrai?
Abrewa, that community. Videos, no. They went and they raised down those structures. See reports of even prostitution that was happening and drugs that were happening in the middle of the forest. If there was no ban on such activity, why would we clamp down on those actions?
But Samima,
I
think it's a good fight. It's a good fight, and we must commend you for the action taken so far in the fight against Galamsey. But then now, Mampenye Kasano, okay, we say out of the 9 forest reserves, 7 have been regained. Now 2 na kano. Abanshi shebe ne dawa. Bopasa mo yena mo di reclaiming the 2 other forest reserves. Abri, 1 year a mining of forest, no.
The ongoing task force, no. That is once omunya acquire criminal activity, they handed out forestry commission officials because they just did not even have the firepower to deal with some of those gangs because no we are well armed. So it is a complexity, and the operations are still ongoing, And see, just as we have made success with reclaiming the 7 forests, we should be assured that I beg your pardon, the tax force, they will continue to work. What I'm happy about is that so far we have not had the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources come to tell us in a report that his attempt to reclaim this forest, his attempt to fight galamsey is being challenged from powers that are above him. Obianso Mbeka said there is complicity because what the president did as one of the immediate low-hanging fruits was to direct the Attorney General that even as we wait to amend the Minerals and Mining Act, which has the provisions that enable LI 2462 to give that executive power to the president to allow people to mine in forest reserves. The president says that you go and repeal that provision that grants the president the power to do that thing. And so they went with that amendment in Parliament to go and repeal that aspect. Of course, the environmental watchers, they are not happy with that because they say that we should do a complete
state of emergency declaration
of that LI. So it is back on the discussion table. If there is no effect or cost of repealing the entire LI, especially as the Attorney General is about to make proposals to amend the Minerals and Mining Act, which will strengthen the provisions to allow for responsible mining. Because as for mining, we must mine our natural resources to invest in our social programs.
So,
but there is technology of how we should do it in a responsible manner, so that we don't also do what deteriorate our environment.
And then so the issue about the declaration of the state of emergency in those areas are for court mining, and then the repeal of the LI 2462. No, say Ghana for bisa say ebebaso.
So in America, say as a listening government, the issue of repealing the entire LI is back on the discussion table, even though we have repealed the provisions that have taken the power away from the president. And so far, Nancy Yomoko report say they have found out that some national security agents had received a legal mining site, sacked the legal owners, and were engaged in illegal mining. As we speak, 9 individuals have been arrested because you cannot just see people who claim to be national security and say that they are national security.
Yeah.
Because the complexity of the fight is such that there is some complicity on the side of many of the stakeholders. The local authority, the community
Sompa
itself,
is trending
that
and trending and trending.
Our only hope is that leadership will stay above the influence and allow the task force to do
Sompa is no more a new station.
They swoop in
new
and they do the necessary actions, including arrest, to protect the environment. So it's back on the discussion table, and I think the president made allusion to it. If we need to do that, we don't have a problem with the especially if we are not promoting any new, we are not granting any new mining leases into forest reserves, and we are not glitching the mining.
And you know, say the Ghana, say, airline no be repeal, and then say, Ghana
must. Let me also use this opportunity to draw our mind to something. Ghana must want something more than the repeal. Because a repeal of a law without commitment of leaders to act is like moot. So we must not be consumed about the repeal when we have a new government that is showing commitment. If it has to be done to assuage people's, expectations, it would be done. But I'm saying, it goes beyond the repeal. So they didn't just put their eye on the repeal. They should look at what actions government is taking, the posturing of the president, the work of the minister and the environment minister, and the initiative, the Tree for Life initiative, the Blue Water initiative as we speak. People can say, blue water water gas for no. how can they fight arm wielding, illegal mining operators? Then you don't understand what we are thinking about.
All right. So, Shamima, time I'm being consumed by the time over here. But before I let go of you, let me find out from you. Because say Ghana for the omo passion nyina say yes you eni nyina ebe kroje. Eno na Ghana ni hu a obohu say galamsey no enya ade a ekoso. Ebo ben na mo hye Ghana for say yensuo nyina no eni ebe kroje e de amayen.
Yensuo no. Because what if you can get.
I am just asking. One says galamsey activities, no. I'm insuring it's milk. I say coffee, and I say tea. I know. Say your percent insuring tea. Insuring tea, and a Ghana in who say say the galamsey and ya dear coso. Yes, you know about a come idea mine.
And next time I come or joy and say. We will have to heal and we will have to heal our environment, by turning areas and water bodies degraded by illegal mining into some economic and other ecological zones. Healing process and no one day event. I'll have to be honest, main chance because of any political expedience. And the process to recover our water. There are two things involved. For those communities that we have been able to safely stop the continuous activity, illegal activity, that is further destroying the water bodies, those communities, we can begin to deploy the technology we are having with some, companies to begin the restoration process for those. Those communities and the river bodies that upstream, illegal activity is still happening, and then they are still, polluting the water bodies downstream. That one, if we go and start restoring those water bodies, the corruption and the activity at the top will still come and destroy. So for that one, the priority is to stop the illegal activity first. If we stop the political and the illegal activity, some of these bodies even have self-restoring, but because of the levels of pollution, we must have to put in some interventions, and apparently there are all kinds of new methodologies and approaches to doing those ones. So for those water bodies that activity is still happening, upstream somewhere, priority is we need to intervene and stop those activities. Those that we've been able to stop the illegal activity, they will be the first areas to begin to see the intervention to restore those bodies. But the community people must be involved because these water bodies are in your community. And see, if you are actively participating in destroying your water bodies, there is a level of public education and sensitization that must go along this galamsey fight. We need to have a mental shift from how people want to be rich because gold is around me and thinking about their own life beyond the gold. Because what will it benefit you to mine for all the gold and you do not have water and you do not have it in your community? We must push that public education. And I would like to ask Munina, Mumboy, through your medium to educate the public here. Or the other opportunities ever a human program, a national apprenticeship program, maybe a 1,500 and not 5,000 a day. Balamsey side echo to any gold be our benya, but at the mouth sustainability, at the mouth dignity, at the mouth and the protection of your environment so that you can live, work and be happy in your community.
All right.
So the now katawa so to all the prompting said there more yet to your own water bodies that destroy all of you your life eventually.
Okay.
So and you proceed on the destruction of your environment, you will stand to lose.
Okay.
That public education.
All right. Yatepa. But yesterday I was in a public transport and they were having some pedestrian conversation that omwa se say omo ya galamsey a omo say nsuo de nyina no NDC for omo be pamo MPP for na friwo ama NDC for no na sabre womo galamsey eno no minim say some of the public transport have radio section and they are listening. And today now catch them.
Abochie.
Yes.
So anything media giving the knowledge of what he has about what your mama wants to do. The NDC media decided to go and breach the law. When you are caught, you'll be dealt decisively with. Any day at all.
Wow.
And it's up to them.
And you think the president will have that political will to prosecute that agenda?
Is it not the same president under whose watch when they made some charges against his appointees, say they've engaged in some corruption activity under this youth program? Those individuals were let go and they faced prosecution.
Are you referring to the Abochie issue?
The consistency and the consistency and the integrity of His Excellency on those matters is without question. We've seen those examples. Is it not the same president, on the day he announced the code of conduct, has sanctioned his appointees? Why do you think, sir, the activity that has the greatest threat to his legacy, no? Because by 2028, saying and show you marked improvement in our approach to fight calamity. What are we coming to tell them here? So do you think that president who has this legacy mandate will sit back and allow people for selfish and greedy reasons to cost him his legacy? Let's be assured.
But we had a president who put his the legacy of his presidency on the line.
And at the end of the day, say who the air cost.
But as good for the man Penica say, I had the when he pa any awful people say, or man Penica say, a year 452 million Ghana cedis. Sabri, one more the baba year free tertiary fees for 156,294 students. Students, then yaji pa. But question on Wubis say, a bread bang never shall see.
There's for those who went to school last year, they will all be reimbursed.
Okay.
The Student Loan Trust Fund now, they have a portal which is like for those who are receiving admission, because the tertiary institutions are more admission period. You have to show proof that you've received the admission, and there are MOUs that have been signed with the universities to ensure that the universities will be paid the amount, but the candidates, they have to register. They have to register on the Student Loan Trust portal.
Okay.
When you're admission into this tertiary institution, and once we cross-check with the universities, that's the collaboration that is happening. I know for a fact that the CEOs met with all the various heads of the various tertiary institutions to share the vision of the program and to agree on modalities for a seamless implementation. So that will happen. But I'm not, I mean, can't say me.
Yeah.
And not, Kofi Asare.
Yeah, Kofi Asare. Edward.
There are a number of proposals on how we should reform the education sector broadly, so that our education sector is not only fit for purpose, but it will also be sustainable. For example, the amount of money we are expending alone in feeding children in school and in paying maybe nurses and teachers and all of this, that we should have a second look, because again, if we train more teachers and there's no infrastructure, because there's no budget for infrastructure, there's no enough budget for infrastructure because of the amount that go into feeding the pupils alone. If we do that, then ultimately we will not solve the problem. And we need to sit around the table, parents, teachers, educational stakeholders, and that's what we did with the education consultancy. So into the future, I'm sure that we will hear some proposals for the reforms that should strengthen our education, provide the infrastructure, because many primary schools are still under trees in many of our rural areas. So the infrastructure in Niwa, you the teacher who is trained, you the nurse who is trained, where will you be posted?
I don't answer.
Under a tree. So we must think long term in some of these. And personally, I think that education must be a joint responsibility between the parents, and then we must also find other creative ways of financing education. So, you have free senior education. Now, if you say, okay, money targeting, don't do it for all, don't do it free for all, because they have so many problems. You see, we want to stop the whole track system. We can only stop it if we expand infrastructure.
Yeah.
Where are we going to get the infrastructure?
I think Zankoboya this is here no. You better shut up a bread they are from. Now you know what this Zankomo because very important and idea manage who ye pa and would want to say you better was say so ma ho kwan ma you know would komo. All you would want to say is that God bless you and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Abochie.
Yes, dear.
Also Abochie ana.
Also there.
Maybe so we are Abochie. Never beto Abochie through nchen ana.
You ba beto Abochie from nchen. Abochie is my surname.
And now we are Abochie without me. Abochie be there or namo.
Oh, that's Abochie I'm here and namo me ho pa. Enye easy o. Enye easy. Yeah dey.
You make money now.
Yeah, Joso. Shamima Muslim is the deputy presidential spokesperson for the NDC government other presidency. You heard her speak to us right here on Sompa 106.5 FM. Market you apa na yedi nkomo ye wie no. Ye other nkomo a ye bedi but minia aye Evans Amo already waba betra se. Ye twen say David Obri Eboaso eba be kansa wa ha ono a member of the NPP communication team. But let me also inform you that you're right, Evans Amo ekasama the NDC. Sabri watana se. And then we'll also be looking at some issues right here, of course, on the table this evening. Now, share and common because as we speak now, no, say Ghana, your economic indicators, no, say no saying and air catching petrol board January, that's an air. As we speak now, say petrol board also ababesi saying dollar tama ye war. You call January, no. That send an your friends a dollar bought here, and of course now dollar bosso at the saying Sanko Menina Ebetuja Ewo Sompa 106.5 FM. But modern now you call a Forex Bureau, one Forex Bureau over here in town, and then we'll be having a conversation to that effect. Any GPR chief also Ebedin Komo on the downtrender petrol athiki and as a fuel athiki in our country Ghana. And think tomorrow toja ebede de kabio say jumedi upa so baswa number obe phrase suni 0260 196064 0260 196065 and then the number ye be lines no to ma also ode wa drink chire but as a sharing subio say Abochie's voice would be on today and then ehena me de ba befa. And I know, so when the time is due, you know what it is about Abochie's voice right here on Sompa 106.5 FM. Even some of them to create the answers. Baba Minko, I have been at Green Street, and then on Comobia or the HMU or the common HMU here. Then we'll come back to Ivan Samo and the other conversation right here on Sompa 106.5 FM. As a die, Yedibema, Electroland Ghana Limited, as a PC, one I dear, one so I sorry, over to electronics, Papa Dia, but more than enough when it's Electroland Ghana Limited. Nasa Kaib, you say, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinics, so a boy Juma Yepa, Yare Kwankro. Adokro ache bomodin pa na fo ni kire Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic opshomo won kran ya omo Shell signboard Spintex Road e won kran ha e ho na bohu omo sa so na ohwomo kumase a omo ahene makokoben e ho na kwa bohu omo from 0244 867068 027 4234 392 kai say udidwa na adwadie no wambo hu deru a obia ente wonka sabere Sompa 106.5 FM yabankran de ne yaba ma wadwaton ade no fabraha ne ndi hu enkomo ma se de be ya obia be hu se bibia ebekoyi ede ama. Now first 120 days of Mahama, how far so far? That is a question our researchers are asking right here on Sompa 106.5 FM. Green Street in Markwaba.
Prof Pacho Medase Bebre.
Na bibia bokore.
Nyankopon adom opani.
Sure, etie you.
Prof we dey ese we di nkomo achenti ne be boni tew na nkomo ne dey nkomo dada e wo system no munti no. Ende ye hwe ye mampani John Dramani Mahama ye de akofuna hye ni nsem on the 7th of January wo Black Star Square no. Na we di nka hye bobi say onya sa akwanya no a obeye dwumedie sonku bi samre no otunidin 120 days social contract with Ghanaians. Enti no Nyankopon ya adomu a onya akwanya no ana yetuma no a yedi ni si so on the 7th no subsequently no opa saa dwumedie ne hontoma na enumu no na oma yehu say or outlining 25 key policies, activities, any major reforms bi a saa time no or the share 120 days in contract no the share mu. And you know that 120 days document was embedded with 25 key policies, activities, and reforms. And you know, eno ho dwumedie na Prof we dey meboni tew na my summary kakra because of enkomo odi na we nyambre ato dwumedie no so 220 days you know, 25 policies, activities, and reforms no mefa no bako aboni tew na ne edi kan no ye mampani ma ye hu say sa within 120 days you know obebo ne ho body pa na ayi ministerial friend is saying a friend is saying
appointments
ministers you know within
appointments
within the ministers you know it could be a friend of cabinet ministers.
The cabinet ministers.
Yes, that constitutes about 19 of the ministers you know or try say within the first 14 days you know obebo mbodi na sa cabinet ministers you know wapa omo ade bia otumi yeye na osign number 2 osama ye Ghana 40 say from 1992 ebesi ono ne fourth the second term year yegusu wo mu you know ono na ban na obe constitute the leanest and most efficient government. Let us say from a year previously who ministers be 100 ministers so ministers no ono ma yet say so be 60 ministers na sa a year Abochie no so no wa magana fu ehu amana bemu. Number 3 no chere say code of conduct and standards. Prof enche ye bia na ye di sa nkomo no e wo table so me gidi say Monday no na a year research desk ye ba wudwumedie so a ye be magana fu hu say on the 5th of May and I am penny a pass a code of conduct and 20 no so no my penny etumi edis Abochie no so number 4 national economic dialogue no so your man penny etumi edi hu dwuma Abochie wa manabimu. Number 5 or try say the first 90 days no obebo ne homebody na ordinary tutu kwemu na bibia na ka ye frɛ no satam 94 to ni draconian taxes na say twamene eto a yetu a etwa nipa mene sa no moto ni dina ebi ne yi levy covid levy 10% levy on bet winnings any emission levy and also no man penny etumi edi sa Abochie no so wambra finance minister ato forcing call parliament kwa kan first budget no we tumi edi so number 6 or say within the first 90 days you know obebo and homebody pa na we review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported into the country. I know you dey agriculture, agric nnuane juma, ehu ejuma, any industrial purposes, and also no your man penny etumi edi hu juma. Number 7, or try say omo campaign na no no last year 2024 no flagship phrase bi omo use year 24-hour economy policy. O man penny ma yeti assess Abochie toso number 7 no or try say onya sa kwan na obedi hu juma ama 24-hour economy no wapa ho entoma. And also you idea bia we to ho anamo. Number 8 ne year establish an accelerated export development council. No ya idea bia we are yet to see Abochie 25 na nya ni nyina no tumi ye enti no nia otumi ye no ye be hu na nia wentumi anya anase egu apono so obe hu adwuma no. Enti number 8 no accelerated export development council no ya idea bia we are yet to see and say da pono so adache omo be hwe na omo aye. Number 9 ne say convene a national consultative conference on education. We to me no ye ni aba Shamima Muslim say ye ne Africa Education Watch Kofi Asare ndi wonkomo sa conference no Basuma Yenia Bema Kofi Asare Sukobi. Number 10, implement the no academic fee policy and also no wetumi aye and no for all first year students in public tertiary institutions. Public tertiary institutions in here, the universities, the teacher training colleges, the nursing training colleges, and any keka hon wetumi aye sa ade no a ode sika sunku bi a prof wakasa obodi ode kwese mu. Number 11, introduce free tertiary education for persons with disabilities. I no say the Ghana Medical Trust Mahama Cares fund no wetumi edi ho dwuma eno mu no na na say ya o kire say the ministers bi a wamra ya kaso mu declare mu asset mu ntumi anya within some 3 days within a certain time frame no what 3 months salary if some ministers no dey kwato Mahama Cares fund no no wama yehu internet no wetumi anya. Number 12 or say commence distribution of free sanitary pads and also your man penny etumi aye embrebie omo to edi ho dwuma and also no omo di sika kese bi ekwohye mu Ghana for airway intini wetumi. Number 13 or say institute inquiries and or forensic audits into the following matters where scandals are horror your man penny wambra your man penny Akufo-Addo tese no ekọ so ebi ni said the collapse of the indigenous Ghanaian banks and then financial institutions papa UT bank ne your friends papa Kwasim Dumdie keka woni aden sa dwumedie ne cost Ghana 25 billion Ghana cedis na your man penny say scandal bia illegal printing of money by the central bank. The $58 million National Cathedral scandal, illegal and inflated single-sourced contract, COVID-19 expenditure scandal, PDS, Ejapa, SML, ambulance spare parts
ambulance spare parts deal.
I know your man penny the baby na ne ho bomb oni ni kunu na ho bomb pa 13th African Games I call so e wo Ghana ha say ni Boteman e wona dwumedie ni kese na call so Sky Train wamra former railways minister Peter Amewu ono so maye wo say Sky Train no na nya de e be possible enti ono kra no ne pronouncement no na ma Ghana hu say bibi e call so aye fishy your man penny excess obehwehwe mu Pualugu Dam math set issue bi so e ba Galamsey fraud missing excavators and tricycles Sputnik V I don't know dro bi a COVID by na ye de bobo enkrofo na immunization bi no any bust scandal and others enti na mabobo so na scandals a e course so e wo mampani dada Akufo-Addo mbre so mampani John Dramani Mahama
so you can say that they are alleged scandals.
Fantastic. Yes. Alleged and yes is do. I know that my penny say what Ghana for boss as part of the 120 no.
Good.
And then we are here to see all these things. Number 14, they institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets. And on code of conduct.
And on the code of conduct. No, sir. I dear we are on Mampenny dia bay. May I idea many so many jehon. So meti bi aye dia because the item who no say aban bi wo ho a oba be ko a na car sa mu yusu car na boarding na ya teso kra na dia ma sa minister na na say aban edwuma ni panyin no na dia ma na so nton fan kofi car wo beto no be 4 billion no etimi ba so beto no be 60,000 70,000 80,000 so what I say and you know it's a good call. It's a good call. Institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets. That's a good call.
And the state assets, no say na waka can it also includes a buyer say and any kika. You know, it's embedded in the code of conduct. Number 15, allocate seed money for the establishment.
Let me help you. Allocate seed money for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank. I believe he's done same with that in that regard. And then the other ones also there you can carry it across to a
Ejumera program, National Apprenticeship Program, and a 1 million coders program. And also the idea we've seen all these have seen the light of day. Number 17, commends the review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020 to scrap importation of salvage vehicles, home use vehicles, and it's and
we've heard it over and over and over and over again. So I think we can brush it off. Yes. And proceed with the other issues right here on the table. But quick one, you see taxi drivers are one more a year. Amasaman shopping mall.
Okay.
So and we are giving them a big shout out. Maybe drivers are more taxi drivers. We want to say that yes, we celebrate you. Once you are celebrating it over here, Sompa 106.5 FM. Mumaya kwabano na yesu yedi aketu apa na ede babe bremo. You know, all taxi drivers are mutieng ewo Amasama shopping mall. We want to say a big thank you to you for deciding to be part of the listenership of Sompa 106.5 FM for God and Country Jumedia Sabri Ekoso. Mamindin komo we ansana wako. Okay, but my producer tells me that I feel now all born home modding and then sure.
Number 18, lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government scholarships.
Hold it. Producer is ready with us. Sabri Yansaka Yenya Bema Rashid or a Forex Bureau operator. Ewo ahmano so ayene ne ebabedi nkomo. Rashid na pacho what to say? Hello Rashid, pacho what to say? Rashid, me pacho bibia bokore.
Bibia boko bani bienyo.
Sure, yeah that's it. Yeah, but Baba Sompa 106.5 FM for God and Country. Ejumedi. Now, Friar Friend, and I say, we'd want to find out from you about the currencies. Is it said you're soon in the buying etie? But before that, you know, Rashid, Mamim Bissau, January, not dollar to cedi, no, not saying an etie.
Okay. No, at the beginning of the year, good afternoon, I'm with you for
sure.
Any I am for and normally beginning of the year, I was stroke a crash because your promo no so one in now or more Mediano or more important Yama now or my day or more Abochie.
So question I'm asking, let us say January na dollar no na saying na what in it here to the city.
I was stroke a crash.
Now was stroke a crash.
But
you've been
compared to and currently a rate I want market now. January was so kaka.
But I mean, we are Forex Bureau operator, and these figures must be very common to you. January, not dollar to cedi, no, they're saying.
And between 15.50.
Wow. And okay. And as Abraham no say, dollar na awarding to cedi no. And as a cedi na awarding to the dollar, no so saying it here.
Oh, I mean, as I speak with you, the dollar no, it was 13 cedis to the cedi.
13 cedis.
13 cedis to the cedi. And
is it 13? Maybe is it 13 cedis 50% or 13 cedis to the dollar?
13 cedis. Or dollar now. Now over you turn 13 cedis.
Okay.
Now normally exchange market, we fall within a range.
Right.
Volume now over and over to negotiate 13 cedis, 10%. The maximum I fall within here 13.50. Between 13 and 13.50.
Wow. You've been a Forex Bureau operator, but you say Juma we are no. Would you say a buying a buy, what home modern in terms of dollar no ebe from ediama edwadifuana?
Yeah, by the by I would say in confidence what home modern because Osha Ejumano Maya Achekakra and around this time the cano ember from that them piano around this time na it's cano kosro but about we now buy I'm saying skatem no our mine no what the iron good tie or beboa the cano performer the whole na okotoniema also ba oniama no beteso but scan was ra that they overturn no scan overturn oniama na also overturn no indeed the say I mean no ka say impo no 13 cities any 1350 range na ye ka no enyina ye egusu ba for likely say or china any opportunity it may even fall between 13 no any 1350 no
wow
internet come modern body buy no never order to 2 appointment no when him say scan be from and moreover no almost the association need in common almost your person intervention through the bank and then through the association then they are dollar no they are available will be many people for ato
wow
and you know me hope when say on common na oni edi no ebebem na ye nyina ye ho atoye oh my
you now okay you say Abanemu association no edi nkomo. Now you made mention of the word interventions. So what kind of interventions are them putting our person watching?
Right. And Tembiano, the kind of air cosra. They are buying really give our banks and they are oil marketing companies. Dollar na ecosun inano to do one omoneto. Omo import crude oil ni a dollar. Importation of goods ni a dollar. Into the banks no will be a exchange rate and cost of. But banks in Libya, oil marketing companies, any big importers, almost falling in the forex market for dollar. Volume now almost penance, the rules and then young mao. Into those are no matter falling on the black market here. Not your chance here for the dollar. Into exchange, the banks will be a no good rate. You wouldn't have to fall on other options. Would be a dollar. But the banks in Libya and the Obia Fibia, the Bia of the Fa, Benya Dibia, no Befa. And banks also Benebino, a bit free are buying a home. But the daughter,
yeah,
it is a buying. Yes, Nejuma or the name of 2 appointments that you want shot here. Banks no view and never call bank rate. Our forms. I didn't tell about Cotton boarding. But the bank in Libya, and they all go out and another boy over top.
And you say, on common in our chest, say, the dollar no available.
The view, the will be out, baby, I'll be young.
And you know, every Tremuno, yet me who say, now man for Rashi for the dollar, but then no, it is Anna.
Debbie, and Eddie will be a grandma will be out on. I say on to a train. Never have a phone. But the rush for dollar no aquaform. Obia or to be a positive signal from a buying say. Can be to from it will be a rushing to. And it will be also a will be air rushing air beton. Because when you say a crana, a bit in a star form. Ain't many who can say. And if you are probably doing $100 pen will be able.
Wow.
Yes, just
$100 pen will be able to.
And will be able to.
But can they no? But what did you do? A fees say, none of Toronto saying.
Eh, na obi to me background do do na open obo do do open we special.
Wow.
Because obi to me yes onam obenam obesa onye binto. Because ne bi ni o. Ebi also plan na ne boy because we need ni baba ko obi no. For monopolize the market no. Nti obeton na body. But currently the dollar is available.
It's available. Rashid, if you talk about my businessmen, are you being a trader of forex or Ghana?
If you talk about money, I give me the dollar number for my at the car for in the above for my about to know the air quack. That time is cannot air as a journey. Into no being able to next canon, Jason and Madam Betta is said that. They are changing. But no beyond top dollar after 2 because they are performed. So the notion say better cost. I do. What did he say? Can remember from name in I want to it.
Good.
Emma by now.
Rashid, yabada osene wo mra wo de afem ye enawie. Nyame enhira bibi todwe bioa na ehu be hia se yebesa ba onchen a yebeba onchen na chese ye no edin komo sabri yakwa amano so bio na ye ne ye nua bema Samuel Amoa or ye rep PRO GPRCU and so edin komo se ye nim se petrol bo e ba from adawa for so den na mo de yen ora Samuel Amoa ye ma kwaba ba Sompa 106.5 FM e market you apa
medio so bravely
na bibi aboko de
nyame adom ne mompa bo ahode ho pa
na no a obesran ye ni giye pa da be na obesa besran bio
well ye be ni atoto akwan no na you know we yashe ni many we ya be ba besram
ye be da wase sabra me no kasei sa ukodwa manso na ukakodi dwa efa fango ho a super XP eno ye 13 series 69 pesos diesel aba form 14 series 41 pesos so u strike the difference na wa bra na ebrebi aye top petrol na 14 series 99 pesos na 13 series 69 pesos aye 1 series 3 pesos and then free so aye bia se na for mu ye dennie fuel ba for mu ye dennie ebo no mo bete so ara
ida se papa mami chia wati for we abre mama ikunzu ne aduma pa mo body bo mangana
sure
mami mfa kunya sunsun fenchia driver for Ghana nyina tituni GPRCU impending for national chairman anani makubresia ma elena bedi chide bi okanta ankra the second chia mu nyina de o mu nyina ne se ampa ye wo se pa mo bo no air dropping kakra na na eno ana eye yempa ibo enu ntikura ena ente ebra before crash o mampenia o si adwa so sisi play adwa no ye ni nya akwanya ni ni nhyiemu a sa bre no na ye approach abato e ma na baby afango no bo na dulu na ye ni abre pass ye kokoto ahyentuabom na enam nkobo bi oni ye di enti no ma ye nso atwentwe ni amaso me ni ahyenka fo kasa ya ma sa ahyentuabom ntumu no entimi amaso Emma eja nkakra ebe hu se obetime eja so no fango bo no so airdrop nkakra na we na se dia wo kan ya babeto eja so na dodo na ebiza se idea so ebe hu se ye beti ahimti abo so ana se de bi gina enegina ya de o munyina ne se ya na ye consider a component dia ye share a ye de running your business no and no nampempi na say ye be transport fare reviewer ye share ni my percentage sa ba be da so na say percentage e free so ni a share ni e dia transport fare review component e be a fango born that is the petroleum product we have the lubricant we have the spare parts and we have the taxes as well na sa component ni na nampempi na no ye share na ya calculation and say ya share edintumu and asent so ediaba yes fango bono one of the main components abrebiano ye what threshold be ya share 10% threshold either say ya to so 10% counting from the previous can I say increment no na ya to so 10% and as ya to so 10% sekobana sa then quickly we have a team yesumo mo kwa bontene na omako ye nhwehwema fa other components na we say and also no prices na ba be recent if we are omo de omo report beba national penipot na say no my calculation a hwe say empensu edu no esene fatasi etoso anasi eteso na we na baby afango bo na baby recesi ya no say ye check other components na em say baby ejina enegina adano
me ntwa no so oka say bu check other components na baby ejina na ejina na chese spare parts bo ade e da so wosoro
exactly
okay na me nyabotre
okay
lubricant bo e da so e wosoro
eno so jina ho
lubricant ente so
pacho bredium
lubricant ente so
pacho there the engine oil any ATF any brake fluid near the
Nina na baby abone gina na gina. Ba mo driver for menyabotre. Mo driver for kriya. Ya tu petrol mo a ehɔ na mu dede no sorry. Ya layman na ya wa high. Ya num lubricant, ya num spare parts. Ya de anim say ya nim petrol bo ekosoro a na mo so mo tumo. Enti say aban ye frem na odi tumo anim say sia no. Eye fango bo ekofom. Enti mo so mo nti mo ahyenti ade no so a ade amobaye ana.
Oh, sir, a cobanesa, na midi canca, say, ye share a consider other component and also a share percentage are a free so. Say, said the okay, no credit, Timamufoni Pina, say, Fango walk Cosra, and I see a 2 cash into a boma, will be a niche, say, Fango war, any idea, yes, share and say, 2 air cash into a boom. Now, technically, no. Enye fango bono kwa na ya yeshe tempempi na yekoshia transport ministry ni tonsa e de frɛ ni akwa transport reviewer. These are the components I consider and say I come out with a percentage. You know, I just want to clear the air for every kind of saying listener who tears out way say enye fango bono kwa na normally ya yeshe na ebomuno eno na be the major one ye check percentage about so that is the 10% threshold na ye kan ho asem no na that 10% threshold no be hwe no e bia na ya che fango bo no so ye nya ye 10% no right but we be kwa kohwe spare parts na eno no bia egina ba bia egina anasa akosoro intini se ekoba ne sa we ko check bia lubricant no so the same ekoba ne sa na se o balance a unya sa reduction na o hwehwe no it is our joy say anka de beche ne sorry ne say niama ba fom kra ye ti cash nduabo so ya na ekoba ne sa na asinduabo no fom a ya hyenkafo na nkasa eboaye boaye ne say my passengers are by stations and a patronization more because there are some short distances be honest will be air force say oh a born here thing and you know me shame bottom be new on idea fan say bia ofi domi eko ebia achimota no higher baby na so ye na bottom nya obanante but the bono of former kakre bi esi obi abotom no na odiafo nti e ba ne sa ne balance equation ye hu se bono of former e ma ye sika koso esen se e kan se e bono osoro and at the same time so bono osoro so e affect all the other things I so ye the top and I say ebe factor e adwuma ni mu no enti sabra me no ka se and about 3-4 days ago, I think about 3 days ago, me call one of the radio stations, any spare part dealers association, PRO, and the Buta phone, so almost PRO, ACI. They confirm say yes, $1 neighbor from Susia, no spare parts in Egina Bedia, Egina. They be some say in Egina Bedia, and the excuse they were giving is and the time and dollar was Chicago on the Cotoy. Any of the old stock na wo no eba from no mun koto can say new stock internet say old stock na wo no omun sutimi ton sa bo na for them to make their money say they be make masa koto fufro e bi so can say
right boy on say yen Ghana for ankasa ora mo I beg your pardon on say yen Ghana for ankasa no ye nyina yesu ni e ban e de ti man mu no enye Yesuni ampo Yesuni e ban ya de ti nyabotre mami Yesuni e ban ya de ti man mu no e ade a enye hwe uba ya ye fa ya ye tade koi utina uba mu a traffic emredudu a wudi wo traffic mu no omo di petrol no consumption and e de calculate ye fa ya je wo ente sana okay so etisade adena mo a mu run your operators GPR you know that when you don't look at the petrol factor alone but you are not bringing in other factors to say petrol but from other eyes now Uber driver and there onim say spare parts bo any engine oil bo e was run
papa uze mame nyam fatu bi kakra and show and fatu bi to say choba we are or the choba na aye na adwuma or ye choba na say or ye na adwuma nim say metobanchi na metobody answer me wie no na say me be ye nkwan and quantity tomatoes become, jelly become, moko become, macacadro become, and number become, and yamu be bebemu and say about the fufu be at the end. So, Oriana so be chani fufu na toa, or consider say, I am the amateur fufu area no make many sika. Make the better bunch, make many sika, make the better body, make many sika, make the better tomatoes, other things. Papa, the American yes is say, who say, a Juma, Thai, Eshe, Kasi, Tapacho, Benin, who the fool who came one,
Uber driver ne and as a boat driver now they base everything the calculation on I am ready to do a woody or traffic mode distance I'll cover fuel I will use and how different is that operation from a Mumodiano?
Money in, but you don't see.
Oh, what's that? Yen Sompa FM for God and country. Yeah, the Suma se ko catch on penny for say Munti Ashenti no so kakramai. Because I had because a fool akosru sesia kamubete yabatum
Odivo unim say
me bato nyabotre you from me Prof Abochie me ndi odi me nya nu
Prof unim bibi. Hello Prof.
Yeah.
Prof unim say right before say enka ye ba beto and before say ye ba beto and unim say we ye kika e wan na nke ye ba beto
me pa.
Yes, na edrum pempe so say ye to so. Okay, but ye cosway Ginemua concern for Babontin here to so let give you company for Neo Macasamunia, but to say, Momani Moyadi, Yashenia drop of phone issue at the point crap on no more than the company for say maybe crap on we are in bed with the government. And I quite to say, Dimpoa, Oma share and Pelifone Flumu, into no more per se, a drop of phone show as in Jabo. But no. Na yesi usum brodi anu asu kwadu ye hye passenger for ne hye driver for no so won enti ye hye be ye kodu ya na esesa nke ye to asentuabo so e yanto so ani be dia fe ete so bana as I'm speaking right now even percentage as say be du kura for e be call for reduction on the petrol product alone po no winia and lose that percentage no
na percentage be na mo hwehwe menya botoma percentage be na mo hwehwe mo hwehwe say fuel no ye be tisu abedu bo percent na mo wete ayash etiade so
maybe sabre sadia baby can say spare parts near the
no me be a simple question no there be no me be a simple question and you know fuel no say yete so na etimi ba be 12 cities 12 cities am bete so
pepe who said you say ye for price so e be 12 cities percentage every fuel no so no every fuel no so no ebetimi cover e can say other component ni me percentage bi a ebetimi dey ask every lorry fare no so
baba where are you can into so akra ba no e 1 city 30 pesos you think it's not enough for a reduction
anything I make can say the question is ye free answer ye kodru baby ye kodru you know and now I hinso na free so if you all the records normally no ye baby ebedu a ye beto asentuabo so ye drop percentage in edit for but what you say and ye call na kodu 10% per threshold now then we call for another increment and the baby ye kodu ye call for another increment yan kasa ye share ye se de yen to so ya senya botra esa tia banka kanka no enu baby mpo na ewo na esa ase esutu ko
okay nyabotra mami say watch re mu say yes Sompa news onye ni paketo ewura mu a ukasa ma GPH what they are to just say fuel no e be do 12 cities mo bete transport fare so na fuel no ye tum nyabotra mami say ye tum e ka say ntumu ba so na ekodu your friend say price be na be kodu a mo be increase fare so
see I say before say fuel price may do 16 cities I stand to be corrected but it's around 16 cities plus that was when yes I say I can say no after that 10% to me get to me to into your boss so but what I say see so yes see SUT actually be young Casemra, of which a bomb python into Sona Nemra, a sense should to be echo do 16 now. Then there is the possibility, say, as I see a call for a kind of say,
from 16 to 13 cities, 69 percent. And you think that that margin of reduction does not call for reduction in transport fares?
Prof, hello, Prof. Kama edu sa 16 cities na driver for the shares say na trust 10% threshold. That was when the pressure started mounting on the mounted on the leadership of the GPRQ.
Waka over and over again. But one share Timemufobia demonstration at Tiamo. One share Timemufobia demonstration etia a transport operators ukruma. Because they are yano and Tasumu and yet. What I say?
Hello, Prof. Prof, they are maybe say, I'm telling you, over to most of the workshop, about them forecast be breaking down community repair cars. Now, I said yes, SSC maintenance.
Vehicle maintenance there. Ejuma wo ye no dey oramwa. Nema ne bi o ha wo ka ho. Etie for one abonten wo tie yen no. They are more reasonable than us over here. And they have some deep thinking and understanding of the issues better than you and I do. So you should know, say, ejuma na wo ye no, unya profit. Profit, the uja profit, obeti be at work for maintenance, and that is normal. That is normal.
That's
but
correct.
at the end of the day, about from entimunte so my and no na yes.
Prof, say Emma formu me do baby. We have calculation. So oh my juma po me juma point no. Meto fuel say okay. Can me type paya. As I say me sika say at the top type. Me coach ni oil.
Na say tie. Enye de bia na auto tie. Enye de bia na o ka say ma koye. Enye de bia na auto tie. But petrol there every day be auto petrol. Amunyai sa oramo. Amunyai sa. Amunyai. Yes. Me too pa.
Every way car bia oye juma okwan so bia de oye trotro e na chepa na 1 month or the cost services no akoche
because trotro na wo because trotro me ba sa trotro na wo ka ho asem no sa trotro no agozo nje be dey na wo ko e be dey na wo ko workshop omo ka so wo se car no wo yisu okwan no so no car ni nye
prof
ye
car no e krapo every month every month the SLE services. I say we change oil. Engine oil 1 gallon 250 Ghana cedis. I'm speaking to you now. Engine oil gallon. A Toyota Fish, I understand Toyota Commuter. Oko changing oil or you should 2 gallons and a change oil. And the over long distance at Chapani 2 to 3 weeks. That's what you need services. Oil.
Come away, dear. Me here o studio hapa. Ati yabesha da ne apebre na mama wa ba utimenim wunie na menie na ye di nkomo no god ya mu ye ndie de mu ye mu GPRT for crowd say yanya ne tie say mo da for the complain say fees na ya mo jijiji omo nyina omo nya asem kra mo mfi omo driver ni nya asem ni police nya asem a GPRT for crowd mo ni lawyer bia obedi ekire akwakọ jina driver ni chi sa ne ma we ya mo ye mu nyera mo nyai
Prof,
minim Jesus catch
minim say be driver ko or kasa free branch ben
GPRT
adjuma and here branches were all over the city.
And you know say GPRT
I'm speaking to you
more lawyers
I'm sure benefiter maybe Prof
I get benefit maybe more lawyers
but I say
GPRT more lawyers
lawyers
yo and you fan come on see we busu more lawyers
I can easily mention you can say national lawyer maybe driver be any problem with the police I think Kaswa Kwano so baby and assembly court now even that driver crap no GPRT ho but GPRT mpeni for sorry and your lawyer could and we've been doing that
me that say and you know orasa molamo ai e be pe bread ato yensa fro na waba amaye din komo e was Sompa 106.5 FM. We want to say a big thank you for your time. Nyame sure why.
All right.
Okwa ka kire ompanyin for say team amufo su enti no asenti abodo wonti so. Why?
Yeah, man come from them way
Ora Samuel Amoa PR o kasama GPRT na to say me no edin kobo. Menua Green Street ma me no wie na free mu say what's my chat on yenko
Prof you know send na me enumerate
there be we dey let's wrap up
you know wrapping up no we dey wada ma we che me break akre bi na ya hwe economic assessment
no we sorry because I break here this assessment we'll be doing it later with our guests right here in the studio. So quickly, let's wrap up and then let's wrap up and then have some conversation right here. Because when we say guests now, they've traveled all the way from somewhere to be here, and we can't afford to let them stay over here. Time has consumed us. So,
Prof, you know, man, this same way chat talk right. Out of 25 pledges, I'm a year within 120 days. You know? Sure. Which me I am 18.
Good.
Our trust that represents about 72%.
Sure.
Now aka 7 na oguso year. Now Ghana for assessment or much say sa my penny asem wa all can say why you 17 aka 18 no. Omodi omo be rate ya man penny 80%. Yebeka ya who can say government minister communications minister Felix Ofosu-Kwakye say oberity about 72%.
Yeah.
Yeni aba Shamima Subeka said they've done more than 72.
Yeah.
Ghana for so say about 80%.
All right, that's fine.
Fancy.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Baba me court na me koma Ora, let's see. Okay. Ivan Samo, I will name her. You don't know ever reading go. Ivan said to say,
Yamiadum.
What about Rasia Fatching? Why?
The Maya Diabantel Musa.
Why Diabantel to whatever Fatching? Why? Fatching, pa. David, that's to say. Oh, but you better let's see with me. Not true back on the city, baby. Ewana. Until David, you are quite you.
Yeah.
That's to say.
Adum.
And if you are man, you couldn't want to say, Bibi Abochie.
Yamiadum.
At the dean.
Onza.
Sir. She said, we are watching one now. Yeah, John Mama, Ghana for a cafa, no home for the 120 days. No, I'm a MPP for, I said, believe we watching one now.
Oh, that be. I think it's to be expected. I mean, what he barely 5 months. And goodwill no on. About we are talking about goodwill no. And you know, 5 months you. I mean, say, they are eroding their goodwill though, but goodwill no goes to home, you know.
I tell you, say goodwill no na. About Ghana for Kase, a buying on the modern bono, by 80%, no.
80% no based on what?
Based on the performance for the promises or Kase or Bao, but yeah, for the 120 days, for his first 120 days.
Prof, Sompa FM. 26 promises, no. Nanka you no backo.
26 promises, no. You ain't. Munyana mumfambe to so mame, medema. Patrick way, mumrana mumfa. 26 promises, no, and fambe to so and mammy. Now, me share the Ubasel, you come back.
Because truth be told,
There be the Bakubi Mano, Umbrano. Patrick, move for Patrick Mrano, me and no mammy.
Truth be told,
yeah.
There are some that has been achieved, but like for me, I buying within some few months in his government. Why? Yeah? But as to whether efficient and lean, no, and also another conversation altogether. Because wafa 56 ministers and deputies. Yes, even see that. Now, so be say, what of other staffers anyway now almost because say offer all regional organizers as staffers of the presidency.
Oh, there is some no crana. I'm saying, baby, it's not true. We have run an interview here. Oma Kachiren from the presidency say, and you're not great.
Oh,
good.
Say we based arguments on what Felix na Bekatre. So no one say yampa. And there was
yampa.
I want to wear Bemuna Mose yampa. So
and you know, Fabi called the contract would have been King Kanchi, the first one. Nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval.
Achieved, yes.
Achieved, okay. Yanko second one, constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic in my first 90 days in office. Achieved that.
Yeah. I said our former government. Yes.
I achieved that and you say it's not achieved.
Oh, it's achieved, but
okay,
achieved, yeah.
Oh. Okay. Establish a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials.
Achieved.
May I say? Hold a national economic dialogue to discuss the true state of the economy.
Achieved.
Okay. Yanko fourth one. The fifth one. Within my first 90 days in office, scrap the following draconian taxes to alleviate hardship and ease the high cost of doing business. E-levy, COVID levy.
Achieved. But COVID tax, COVID is still
COVID levy. There's not in Chimubai.
I don't know. I don't know. What's happening?
Okay, so within my first 90 days in office, review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported into the country for industrial and agricultural purposes. I do not achieve.
Yes.
Okay. 7. Commence drafting needed legal amendment and prepare for the implementation of the 24-hour economic policy under the office of the president. And over Canada. 24-hour economy. Also commence. So how much I say? And I will so I appointed somebody, the minister in charge. Oh, right, Gusitano. Or in charge of the 24-hour economy.
What have they come up with?
Sir, they are preparing all the documents. I want to call parliament. Parliament. Okay, but I say establish an accelerated export development council to promote exports as part of the broader strategy for economic transformation.
We saw the negotiations.
Convene a national consultative conference on education to build consensus on the needed improvement to the sector.
Why? But would I have a comment on that?
Okay, comment near there.
The comment is that why stakeholders meeting?
Yeah,
but the outcome of it, nobody knows about the outcome.
It is not public.
The issue is that it is one thing having the stakeholders meeting, and son, you see.
But this one he talks about convene a national consultative conference on educative.
Okay, so why what he said he's done.
Yeah, so what he said he's done it. So that's fine. And to 10, implement the no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions, universities, colleges of education, nursing and training institutions.
It's been inaugurated, but it's not implemented or implemented.
Yeah, or not implemented.
Yes, it's not implemented.
All right. So what you have your stake, you also do your assessment. 11. Introduce the following social intervention: free tertiary education for persons with disability, the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund, Bahama Cares Fund.
Why?
May I say? And to commence the distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools.
Well, launch it, but implement it. So we are. All right. You see, he launched.
Okay, so what did he say? But go back to 12 now. I'm here. Oh, 12 no way. Commence the distribution and the distribution idea. Good.
Well, launch why pilot?
Sure. Also, why pilot?
Yes, no. And
that's what I say. And that's what I say with the distribution on a pilot basis. Okay. Yeah, institute inquiries and/or forensic audits into the following matters of public interest: the collapse of the indigenous Ghanaian banks and financial institutions. Okay, that one not done. Okay, so let's go. So 14, institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets. Code of conduct.
It's part of Korea, so
it is done. Allocate seed money for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank?
It was in the budget, so.
Sure, fine.
So
it was in the budget. So money has been allocated for that.
You see,
it's been budgeted for.
If you have been in government before, you understand what it means. If you put money in the budget, doesn't mean that it's
sure.
It's
and there's a budget beyond here
until it is implemented. And besides, Ghana, we own the bank with 50 size come out that all. Once it's okay, it's also a seed money, so we can understand. But once it's a bank that is established, you need about 400,000 to establish a bank, not that money.
I know. My brother, Evans will be responding to you.
You don't open a bank with 50,000 Ghana.
Before I be a bank, no.
Your government initiative.
Maybe you might know to Kasaemba. O time so Adama launch the following priority job creation programs in the first budget: a Jumawara program, National Apprenticeship program, and 1 million coders program. It's done.
It's been done.
Okay, so let's go to the next.
It's been launched.
It's been launched,
but it's not been implemented.
No, but he says launch.
Okay.
Yeah, he says
it's been
launch.
done.
So 17 commence the review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020 to scrap the law banning the importation of South. Okay, this one not done. Lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government scholarship administration, prohibit political appointees
not done.
From. Okay, this one to not done. Let's see. 20. Ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves.
Not done.
Oh, Onyanye. Ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves. Roll out 3 for Life, Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably.
The Blue Water has been done.
So there's a ban on illegal mining activities in the country.
Oh, Ghana.
Is there no ban on it?
Yes.
There's a ban on it.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
The thing is, why has it?
So speak to your microphone.
No, I am saying that.
Yeah.
It was not. It has always been illegal. We said ban.
But you said also a ban it.
On money that way.
On money.
I said on money.
And somebody else here. But that's it.
I'll get your video.
So 4 out of the lot anyway now. So because we have a bizarre question. Launch the Black Star Experience Initiative.
Done.
Done. Commence investigation, investigative processes to purge state security agencies of all militia and vigilante elements.
Not done.
Into 5, no. Reopen investigations into major unresolved criminal cases, including the 2020 election killings.
Not done.
Oh, but say I also as well. Or say there is ASP Azugu is under investigation. So there is.
The IDP was asked to prepare
reports. Yeah, so you can't say that this one is not done. You can't say this one is not done. It has been. They have started with the process. So what would you say? Yes.
Now, Initiate
a probe into a man-made disaster caused by VRA spilling. This one is not done. Until I share the last one. Initiate immediate steps to compensate the flood victims. Not done. Carry out a shake-up of all loss-making SEOs. This one too has done. So about 7 of these initiatives, 7 or 8 of them. So out of 7 out of 26, she say, in terms of percentage, Obama buying the same.
Now, you see, it is not only about.
I'm asking you a question. Wait, these are your confirmations. Yeah, so I'm asking you. 8 out of the 26. They say percentage wise, but I'm checking percentage wise. Obama buying the same.
Mama buying on 30%.
30%. 7 out of 26. Most striking percentage in the money.
I am me and sanitary parts. What lunch? Yes, what lunch? Ghana for him. My out there, and I'm just pardon. You understand? That is where my argument is.
But say implementation a process.
Until the people who are supposed to receive the thing, almost the eventual, almost have a canal, media, who is achievement. What say with your first year school fees for Momo? Your friend, you can say, your friend, Deputy Minister of Education.
Yeah.
Excuse me, say, Dry FM because different. Your friend of Dry FM. Or say,
Sompa FM.
now, sir, you know, I can say, first year school fees, no. Almost on this time, second year. But you see, Namin Pengu, say, we do on us a Colabia, or happens to the Pasca. It's a nature was say, it is not enough launching the thing, but it's also about the eventual beneficiaries, no, or maybe I don't know. You understand? Time now yet free education. You know, before in the position says, you target it, and I say, targeting. Now, some parents can pay their school fees. Now, maybe someone say, pardon there, our phone to be told, I'm what the child will be around and target. The argument now, maybe some young men is what they say. Free education now, you chama both men, both boys and girls, no, I no cry, ball, we no. Almost saying, and before you implemented, we have to target, like, school fees. Pardon, no, president, maybe so.
Can I respond?
Pardon, no, I don't know. I don't target no. They give it to everybody. University, I'm free SS now. I see and targeting never. I can say I parents no. Supporting Giano. And you thank Allah na ko university. I don't know how the HM will be. And I know the normal. Me say Ugandan. I can say proverb. No, me say I can say bulls are trapped by their horns. But human beings are trapped by their words. More opposition, the impression you created. More power no. Now more some words. And I able move on. Utie mo some more kind of opposition now.
Yeah.
Now more some no. Me wo brave ha no mo. When it comes to Galamsey, President Mahama, and some of Kafa Galamsey was President Kufado. He is a President Mahama say. Akufo-Addo has all the military apparatus because as you know in charge.
Yeah.
It's not no war. And you know when Jack Galam say then I know now he's a head of the military and everything, though incompetent. Some judges say if Akufo-Addo is committed to solving Galamsey, which means 1 week. He can use 1 week to solve Galamsey. But now so 120 days. What does become Galamsey? I don't know. Some judge so or the cabinet as a minister. I don't know how many strategy no fans of Galamsey within the 1 week now or Akufo-Addo, you know. When you are in you can say opposition, most Akufo-Addo say on I can say issues a state of emergency. I'm a share a year TUZ. Someone can strike.
Demonstration.
And then more power. 120 days. More massive emergency now, and there was someone here.
There is someone who moved to for almost 8 years, and you couldn't do enough. Say, Mudibeye, Kwetia, and Galamsey. Now, wait 120 days.
Prof.
Yes, yes.
I buy all the security agencies. No, Akufo-Addo couldn't do it. He voted out. Akufo-Addo voted out. In fact, on time the party had been voted out. And if you are telling me, say, almost 8 years, and Sana, I was almost Galamsey now. Then what are we doing to ourselves? What be dear Bemu? When you were giving pressure, say Nipano, I can play the Minister of Lands, the audio.
All right, we have all those audios.
Now that time now all canon. Now we need also. When they were going around telling, I can say, Cocoa farmers say they deserve 60% of I can say price now. Yeah, wicked no. No money also. And around there be at the Akunya at a VAT more than them. I can try say no money also.
Around there be at the Akunya and at the 2 VAT within them.
Somewhere.
Akunya bang.
On the cocoa farm and I'll take I can say a leather table.
Now so and you know does that mean say oti cocoa farm not leather chair boy. It means leather chair no or the thing can had and done the VAT not in the manner.
The cocoa farm is no more.
You mean that mama call Evans again. Evans na boko bio.
Amiadum.
Bibia come there.
Yeah, near many Jenny say.
Yeah.
Near my boy Ejina. Na mitisa na woni driver for your interview said the internet monte omo prices so I am the cry say omo nkosoro they haven't increased the price of fares at this time because fuel, apart from me, I see it as has been stable. And maybe almost every week we are too firm. Almost every week fuel price cost.
Oh, now because almost every week we are too firm. Now as a man out.
Because
I have no weakness. It's week part every week we are.
I want to go back home.
Oh, we may too kind pa.
Messi wo tu kwa kakasa
man
na
too
wo
kind you Ghana. Man come be here. Ghana hire Prof. Hire. There be any week here. Me ba to I know they have engine too.
You see, you were arguing with them say they should bring the price of fare down.
Sure.
I wasn't worried so much. Media ni say me they say price na ginampo. Despite say yate aban ati fuel so no. Price of fare has been there for some times now.
Even
price of dollar
aban to fuel.
No, there are factors. No, there are factors. No, price of fuel are determined by certain factors. Factors be nema fuel bo ekosro and I say
factors
dollar is one thing.
Sir.
Dollar account. Yeah, dollar no kosra. Now who has the power to control the dollar? Who has the power to influence the dollar? Hey, you're buying. $18 this government haven't even started spending most. Capital expenditure haven't started. Major work they are buying here. This dollar has come down. When dollar government spend, or just Chicago system, I'm a name about 1 year, just 3 months. Dollar that means not a buying Nagasa, you were for a buy. They were involved in dollar trading themselves.
I think my members are question this is here. Right, Evans. Abaya started expending.
Actual major spending hasn't done.
Sure.
Major spending.
I you know unim say major spending eba sika bebre eba your system no ema inflation cost ro ema niam ejija. Would you agree with me?
It depends the way you spend. The sectors are would scan be kono. Baby a would scan be kono na be kire say inflation cost ro and as inflation in back form. Baby a ban expenditures in beko and the betray sa na minim say senior buy there are several incentives are buying their bread citizen pad here ye ka ho asem say why didn't you target the pad our school bank open pad and no akajibi
right we there mami breaking news here on Sompa 106.5 FM a new pope has been elected.
Wow.
Announcement has been made. Meaning say a white smoke NAP every aside the say there. Is he the Chinstein or something?
Churchistan.
And
there's a Ghana name, you know.
Something like that. But our producer is trying to get the name of the person for me, and then we are yet to confirm that. But Ivanzi,
I'm suspecting.
Ivanzi, one him say as we speak now. So uko a year. The world marketer, prices of crude are there above from par, and I believe that is one of the major causes in Tia Sabri. Fango above from our memo. Would you agree?
Yes, price of food above from, but sometimes dollar rate a can par. Now government policy and government expenditures, taxes and major issues also influence, especially port expenditures. Influencing the price of the local marketing.
Okay.
Well, it's almost a markup. Our model to so we carrying price and other things. But when the dollar is much stable, a fuel price in back form. And these things also happen when the government is managing its export and import activities. You know. Well, it's something that we have to look at it very closely. Now more about to say what to me I'm $1 about from within this short time, you know. And government is going to roll up.
But I'm in room. I'm in Ninko Mosisia. Is there a new poop? There's some paddy. You can say, oh, they are now the assem. Say, your room. Alright, Father Amwako. Am I correct? Me ma kwa baba Sompa FM so. Hello, Father. Father, but what in Ghana? Oh, Father, but what in Ghana? All right, we'll try and re-establish contact. Yen Sabeka father, na yen father Edin Kobo. Where father Amwaku Rome, na yen Edin Kobo sisia. I was Sompa 106.5 FM. It was contact is not being established over here. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hello, father. Patrona is saying.
Sompa FM.
Me pacho bibi aboko there. Na sabre romboko ye nyare ntia se ya pao eye new pope aye bia no sa pepepe na community ana
Me and Casa de Nya me phone online, but says white smoke na abadia. It's a white smoke na abadia. That is a new pope.
Father Sabre, we have a bit of a technical challenge here. Yabasa Fro abuse is yana yene wedding come. Right. Okay, good. Sompa 106.5 FM today. Na open okay Bibiana. We are Catholic niana.
Oh, the million Catholic.
We don't pass sorry.
We are Pentecost.
We are hey. How can this be?
Oh, my wife from Pentecost, from Catholic Church.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
And on then I've been so Ojai.
Oh, Ojai.
Ojai.
Or Pentecost, but on him, one Catholic, always a Catholic. So come on. But I mean, you're not young, remember sometimes I maybe I was say really wild. I really wild about Dalano and Dalano conform because at force and Mahama be extraordinary.
Now
that are not conform because Trump the trade can say politics now or really out. All the countries now, China, India, Germany, whatever, all the can say big countries now, they are now trading in their own currency. They don't accept dollars. All the countries, China, they see how the dollar on my waist. Dollar hata. And they say China for it trading in their own currency.
But what will Bloomberg for reports now?
Me where?
Bloomberg for say Ghana's currency is the world's best performing currency.
Oh, are you not getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
I am saying, say, per our.
Yeah, it's you.
Per our own Ghana. Yeah, in Sikano. It's dependent.
I will come back to you. Hello, Father. I'm going to patch up to send you.
Me pa na mo sorry.
Good. Ya ho ye pa. Na say ya new pope. Anya bia no ya say white smoke no apie fi tunnel no. Sa pepe na ti ana.
Ai me pa try.
Sompa FM.
Sa so na etie say white smoke no. Ai enti sa wo hwa piazza ho no ho dede ni ani gie aba. A obi a peda flag him more bomb some way from some flags so countries, different countries are bigger than Yinano. Nina say new pope, but a say na new pope now white smoke na abano. I will say you're called dressing. You're dressing and kind of not abba one thing na any the nababetre other samina. It's here, Obia nim Ipakra yin say or pope no I dey or ma 123 candidates cardinal now almost name the omo no my any wa bontene de obi enu a wonim no akosi se obedress epia ba de enim say white smoke ne kire say yenya new I say eye we are not say ye we de yenim na de atwan ne say obedress we na me say obedress nti be take time na what dress ansa na why dey yet na ba be kire e wo sa balcony na wo fro no be bia o de curtains bi wo ho no nipa ne be di kan na say have able papa have a pope na immediately no ono so FA aba na ne o be kire nyina
wow
say ni no any ti nyina ye hwe atwen say nipa be pie nipa pro cardinal kra ye so no say any
yeah. So congratulations from Sompa 106.5 FM to the entire Catholic fraternity. Within a short possible time, you've been able to come out with a new pope, of which but as we have seen, you have said, 23 cardinals are conclave, a pope no Emma a Catholic Church, and for that matter the world over. And more and more Rome crown as we speak now, you don't know who our new pope is.
Who the person is? The man say Fuma smoke and white trade. New pope, but you name it across.
Now, no more do send no mujina
and yes, Mujina said the MPP, NDC, PNC, UGCC, one.
And I say a contest.
133 cardinals.
Okay.
And today, so Omunina Papa Billy, one more Papa Billy.
100 and saying
33.
Oh, 133. Okay, that's fine. Oh, who use Omunina Papa Billy?
Papa Billy will be a woman in a will be at you. Oh, yeah, time on Bessansian, or more a year, you know, a sweat, nobody can't way. Almost every only say extra ominous, the 2 gates to take him and lines of money, Simon, my dear.
Okay, and Wabra, who said earlier, black friend is a smoke nearby, no, not just they were not able to arrive at a conclusion, say, Nipa Sumesi, or no, and our head, or Baba.
Yes, I think when you run Wednesday, first vote normally black nearby, black nearby, the Nyapo. And at this morning, so we 2, no, and a pound, we are almost 2, but I did almost 4 times. And a pound to 2, then you ran tomato 2. And a party, you know, the first one, if party around 10:30, we want a white smoke appear.
Now,
but the first one,
but my uncle.
And the first one, I'm far. Not second one at Twasso. Second one at Twasso. Not the next one far. And you're not black smoke. Verso towards 12 midnoon, no. Afternoon, say black smoke in there, but night and a party, you know, now, and you ready and also around 3:34. Then so sa omato. Then you ready almost 2 years and Yamia white smoke in a piano, not just say.
Now, your baby says, Nipa 133 now, echo share as cardinals, you know. I don't know. So, almost to a banner decision, you know, how is it arrived at? Is it as a result of, say, Nipa Nebenya 50% of the vote cast, and I say, send an etia?
When your friends say, Mahama 50 plus 1, yes, when I say 56.
And to win a Senate,
when he 2/3 of the majority, also
2/3 of the majority, and also
2/3, 133 candidates no more. The 2/3 assembly count.
Oh, okay. Where they are 2/3, 2/3. Yeah.
So 133 plus 3 so what number 40 something.
40 something.
So there's also when you something and 90 plus be a can say where and you said obi betimi anya lead, you know. Now so nya 2 tests na dia I was say time day e kwoto no pro na e ka say ye nya pope bia.
So how would you
so ubenya 2 tests ansa na smoke ya ka say nya pope unya 2 tests na e beto wewu.
Say nya 2 tests the number 2
in the medieval period some 12 something 12th century hope, you know.
Yeah.
Not no arrival at Nipan vote, no. It almost 3 years, 2 years, 9 months, I say. No one to pope. Wow. Conclave, no one free by. And you unlock you. We are locking on Muslim the year. Mobile to and 1 baby. So,
wow. Actually, that African cardinals are now women, don't we ever say?
African cardinals, 17, if not mistaken, 17, 18, around that number.
17, 18, around that number.
Asia could have the same number.
Okay. Okay. So how would you feel, sir?
50 something, 54. 52.
Okay. Okay, so how would you feel, sir? Yedi Pope ba be na Pope ne eye nipa tuntum na osaye Ghana ni. How would you feel?
Oh, I'll be very happy, very, very happy, very, very happy. I'm someone I always say we should learn to put Africa on the world map. And even my activities over here, I always do activities that try to portray or put Africa on the world map. And here, even Independence Day, Cultural Day celebration, First Junior, you're best celebrating. Say you display African culture difference than when Nigeria or Ghana, you will be a display in the I want to put Africa on the map because it is time that the world should also know. Say, Africa is like Africa, they are Africa, they are but Africans, we are capable. Africans, we should also see ourselves as humans. It is if on the world stage, you drew baby, say, racism, Africa. It's time we should also show others, say, yes, we name the another in the same city.
But when father says, as a CNN, the Unfonimbiaba, or a brony fita. What check it?
Yenyanka say have bemus papa me kan
What's a munya then?
Yenyanka say have bemus papa me dey e tell say obeba penetra no abeta say have bemus papa na won odi na matira ha odi na won kire let me know, okay?
Abemus papam.
We have a pope, Latin. It say we have a pope.
Okay.
Vatican, it's your important Pedrina. From Bedre, will be a Puma on the last day. Will be a prediction.
Oh, be a prediction. I'm out for predictions. Okay. But who's your power? Not leading contenders. No way.
Leading contenders, the all kind of idea. Oma media no a portray almost say, and Kawemu and Kayun to with my because they be on when say, can now we also watch and that's why I was speaking and be on media so. But all of them are the leading contenders because capable.
Oh, that's fine.
Where
the campaign, baby move.
Anything I'll move on the soul here, or move on, take it back. Yeah, you are on more. We take it vow, secrecy.
Hey, sir.
We take it about secrecy. And the answer now, we take it about secrecy. Yeah, now we are sorry, Molasa, sorry, we are now, Obi Abedi can be on what can't say extra ominous. Or can't extra ominous now. Extra 40 we are out. Everybody out. Everybody out there say, one can win in a more wanting to have for 2 gates to them wine. Or can't we and one as a woman can in a candidate. Yeah, to my better. So, will be a candidate there and one early contender. Because and now some campaign at Tremai. Because me to me, and to me, maybe any American say a Jumano, a Juma, when I'm from it, the more I could have read me. I didn't mean to me. Because any Juma politics said you know about 10.
All right.
I didn't move to create me the man after you made him so that's a politics. Mode.
And you know, they say no Ghana for 8 years Sompa see episode who a brand pot a new poopy because as a if we be adam in so who said flags different flags and I'm for review now as me who Ghana flag papa as me who Ghana flag that's it say when you din come as no be jay no Hail Mary back on the yemfan come no Hail Mary full of grace the Lord is with you blessed are you among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Father, hey, Yeah, this is hey. Now, around.
Yeah.
Nigga, him married. That's
Now me yaki chia married now.
Oh, me a Catholic, me a Dominicano.
Me the me a Korana.
Yeah,
but me the me a
me a delinquent brother of the Mashalan community.
Now me a Carrick.
Me invest in the child of Catholic school.
Oh, sir.
And so I lead me I say school worship, the worship time.
Hey, sir.
I lead.
Hey, yeah, we are spiritual. You see, even say right, and come on, so you to us. Yeah.
Abina Bonhomodi. He has laid all the necessary foundations, structures, economy business so they spring up would have put every structure in place. And that's what he can do at this time. And some of the Jumewe say with the committees, nimper by institutions, organizations, structures, abandoning you more person or the SCC Aquamu. Student party say they have commissioned it. We did say Ombesha say Ombedis I'm aware to create a pad bank into per pada. That's one of the way we can target. One of because I'm per pad.
No, but only I'm for bo abina baso. When it comes to figures, it won't say figures already drop petrol buffer, but still you could German soa.
You see, a certain culture has been built almost a decade. Culture be Yero Kufad Wabetna, so almost a decade, 10 years. Or the Sunni Bambiaba system no more. It cannot just go away within a short time. Sani mania tutumu obia gana if you obia no so 20 nia. Sa subani it will take time and sana akọ. Mentina make us say medaya me as say niema no bo no abani side no aye stable price of fuel above from other incentives abano so the niema bi ahihim to incentivize the parents or for parents part the car or for parents first year in school.
What I'm trying to say is it is never board thing.
When I'm here about me say
Evans never board thing.
A bro I send a book of oko be a senior microphone to a bro. Prices of goods no abano nya ho hwe. Transportation a dinner for some times now. I didn't know exactly to name him. Enti a culture bia suban bia ye dey ato almost 10 years, almost a decade. Obini suban or the buy no. Enti Ghanaians became use of it. Now a new regime has come. On wa share that tinima passport so what even admission forms what so what way so what fuel so dollar number form automatically they will either be stable or come down.
Okay, somebody sends a message. He says that a person is Best Dave on Facebook. Prof, data for the distribution of the sanitary parts have been submitted to the ministry, and in no time, distribution would commence.
Yes.
We trust this government to deliver. The first 100 days has been so phenomenal.
That is it. You see, assemblymen, allowance, who say are sending forms, said they should fill for the assemblymen allowance. That is how government starts. That's how institutions start. You put down the basic foundation, basic structure now, a bit so that spring up. You put them down. We sorry announce me we or say agenda 111. Or then I know kind of agenda 111. You haven't done anything agenda 111. You see, put basic structure pillars
so,
now.
Because agenda 111, they haven't done anything. I don't know. I'm for. No,
it is like
no. They said they have not done anything. You and I know. Say there are projects they have started but not completed.
What I'm
so
trying
don't
to say,
say they have not done
that
anything.
That is the star of a Akufo-Addo administration. Have the basic concept like funding, structures are yet to be delivered, the sustainability of the funding, so that you can finish. You see, Osisi said we have come for data to supply the pad. I am aware so they have go for data for payment of the assemblymen allowances. A sana mamoti administrative sana yeno. Yen to be biamu bomu for when with the aboha, no for with the aboha. At the end of the day, no Akufo-Addo couldn't achieve anything.
Okay,
he couldn't build and complete one's hospital. The prices of goods and services was going up. The first time in the history of Ghana, driver forecast striker. Yes, we are not going to move back.
All right, may I say, Maminko Facebook. There's a message here that says that, and it comes from Owusu J. Ebenezer. Anytime there is a fuel increase, transport owners immediately increase transport fares. When the price per liter increased to 23 Ghana cedis and 24, the drivers increase their prices to commensurate with the price increase. Now it has been reduced to 13 cedis and they are still maintaining the old fares. The ministry responsible for transport should put up and hold the drivers accountable to this particular issue. The kalabule is too much. That is what the person says. Pieja also says that I'm watching you live from Achim Asafo. And Best Dave also says that good show, Prof. The other messages there will be reading out to you. But then, you know, I'm from future, but more Evans. See, you could do more. Scan and Kobe Biel.
Mese
ye kudwuma ye kan okra kire mo
tinia meka
ade we figures nkwa na yehu
tinia meka no mese Ghana ni no asua suban bi suban bi a emfie nwotwe abetam ko almost a decade 10 years aban mi betena so apo patapa propagandas na no ye niema bo no tutum ade kwa ntina ese aka auto passport fee. What was the reason? I didn't think I can nursing allowance, nursing training forms, admission for a sort too. Why? What is the reason? Oh, I didn't think I saw good banks. I didn't think I said dollar no cost for sir. I didn't think I said galamsey no. Yes, rampant galamsey activity because some of them are involved. Dollar say no. The government himself was trading on dollar. The galamsey. Key government official, it was even alleged that the chief of staff there, no, not the Maye Galamsey. It was alleged. Oh, and when you are participant, how can you stop it? How can you stop it? But sa regime na chomuko, omo be chomuko. But minim say, yen this film say ni man bo mo na mo de beba form. Because e dia hombrase odoni obuo na no kredi ba besom. Niemana ya abandon your say you want to create the neighboring environment, and one of cardinal objective of government is to create the neighboring environment for business to strive. How do you create it? Tasa no what so. If you live a few, some percentage I bet Ghana in bottom government could have taken it and spent. But when if you was a percent now, would ma yile fa na wa fa bon humbra. Nianka wodi ye say no fa na fa bon humbra. That's the essence of God. Create the business environment for business to strive. But this government was fighting with them, not competing. He was fighting with them. There's different from competing and different from fighting. Need a fight. When you are competing, and then Ananka, those days, Minister of Agriculture wanted to compete, try to bring price of goods and services down, but he took it wrongly. Oh, but when he was fighting with them on the same commodity, until Monday and this are buying into only 120 days, and a moose at it in him, and you from fine environment, very fine. Investors will come and invest the ultimate in Canobra. Ghana is open for business.
May I say, Binia Evans, or can say he speaks for the MVC 0249777779 Bushia Obasoba Jubilee as well. The lines are activated. Let's get talking. Hello, good evening. Yeah, me pato hifana okase free. Yeah. View. Yeah, that's it. But so I drink training the same.
My jet did come and in charge just to call you up and for MPP General Secretary. And after your mark, Pony. WMPP,
Oh, it's you.
More Maybe and is in Yatin Yamazoma. This year near Mercury. So I can't come on for body papa.
Is ah.
Mamika some show. And net by Rebaco. 20 Ghana city.
By Rebeno, because me and Rami call a domain market or to buy we to buy 40 cities. Now who can 120 cities? As I mean, okay. Oh, there be me, I mean, the watching you, but then Rami me call domain market. I'm called to buy Rebaco 40 cities. Now say who can say buy Rebaco 120 cities. There buy Rebeno. No.
Near 2 city.
Aye.
And then we got 10 city.
5 cities, 10 cities. And then we told me, we told me, there 10 cities.
Now the time is the name 2 city. And then the they will send this in the man, ASA. Most of the dollar above from. Now, dollar above from now, and Yama boy, and then don't go 10 city, 7 city, 8 city.
Producer, boy saying 5 series. Producer of a 5 series. Drumming market area. Sir, Cantamanton, 10 series.
And no, baby, if you talk about another con, another time, I bought 3 city and then I'm about 5 city, 6 city. I didn't hear. Send him a calling him. Oh, and you know, more yard near beer. Ma, as if we said, your mama buy no, a Ghana air coye. Oh, and your money, young coye, what's that other for who was as a law to Papa?
Yeah,
me, my running card. I don't say, yeah, I have for your toss pass. Not an idiot or toss pass, Necani and India. Come on, the 3 years toss pass. Come on now, can't go to my Nemaya now. We have put your arms there, and I'll be a toss pass.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, I want to say.
Me match me where pa that baby I can say free.
You know, make us African median free fa.
A free fa. Me match what am I saying?
Yo, money my power ya bo manga na nyapo konshira no ma nyansa ne agin kese.
Amen.
Me go. And $1 from the door they bought on for here. And I hear that I'm okay.
Sana mo kan.
I have they say $1 from abana bon money. Na your friend say cement your cost no so and also no abano upon one answer no so abon money. What
the obisa question? That's all obisa question. Question I obisa. And if a question no, I don't mean I will direct the question at. You are asking Obia Otie Sompa 106.5 FM.
Share. Na yenim say Akufo Addo tam. Yenim say dollar e wo soro. Dollar go 18 cedis. Na your board of 7 cedis, 5 cedis. Quiet thing, the name so quiet thing. If it's a mochi abana bon home thing, I'm a dollar yachiso. Yachiso not still and yama portia. And yet I'm buying what boom.
Me that's the possible by so hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh, me I told you the line as well. Hello, good evening. Hey, a Johnny Moore fan co barrier. A Johnny Moore battery. Oh, sorry. Yeah, a Johnny Moore, it's here. Why, Casa?
Jamaica, you understand? Just young program, $1 at this one and Yama boy at the day. Nothing. I never $2 with you. I ain't even sorry. Oh, my God, how? What you idea? Because I near my go. I near my papa, bro. Oh, when I got a boy, if you would do more, they bow. On the patrol, I just I'm talking to the person. I don't know what to do. But the Ubri animal, who do not care about the Ghana. What you idea? And near my question and go here. Oh, and Abano, or Mamma the idea, or what you think. Then you make Joshua, Nibuaya Dino. But it is not from young Musa Padano, apart from one. I'm not going to be able to get my own share. And I tell you, don't make you because so many sort of you and we took I can minister one go bye bye.
Me that say Sabre me bomodi na makọ Italy Rome na ye din kobo. Hello father amako yes account bio. Say enya new pope ho.
Me patron say enya new pope.
Me patron ni din design.
Ni din de Robert Francis Prevost. Oye American Chicago and our free to show a din Papa Leone.
Leone.
Leone. Italian American Papa Leone.
Okay. Yeah, in Italy. So I can say Pope Leo.
Leone the bell lion. Papa Leone, a lion.
And I ever got a
lion.
Pope Lion. Hey. Me patron father you better ask for this breaking news. I was some brother TI na you have also about the hot bite news no dey about. Now patron what's my chat ro? There be a time na TI you be can use.
My price ni dey. Ni aban be ye no. Ena all ye no. Yenti manfo no na ye mai se mai nuanu hu se ne omo ye na enye. Yentu fuemu aban ayi taxes afi ho aban the incentives aba adentina ese niema bo ekosuru biom aban watwe tax afi ho
yeah
fuel yentum dollar no wabo ama na aba form or the incentives ama timemfo adentina ese niema bo ekosuru and they say, yeah, yet, phone, yakasaba, media minim say, it's too early the day, a fina new administration, if you say, it means prices no, a very stable. You not get what any sabem, near me, not very fine.
May I say, my call me here, bring you
after, but
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The issue is that Abano and Papa, no Majafa. Nyanya ba almost on ba mu nche be betem be me say omo ba 5 months I didn't pa no my year and until madala na kofom tam na ba me e say say ento gold e wo bank wana no mu dan say enye
anti officer ba me hye na ma dollar na ba fom no
ana me plan say dai no my year we need 5 months
ba me hye na ma dollar na
say omo to gold almost about 31 tons
dollar
you understand. Bank of Ghana Kasa they have enough gold at the Bank of Ghana. And you know, you see, 5 months here, a doom so. That's no come back. I do a doom so. Here, most of my buy. A ban now, most on yard dear, whatever. Yet to a can say a to peso 25%. Mobile 10%.
10%.
Mobile 10% no so. More lights echo 14%. And I'm water echo 4%. A ban we. It's now 5 months here, and then nobody 1 year there. Ghana ha ye beton ye ma
me da say so ba dwedi e so nyame nkoso nshiraw Amadou Bema Suleiman is watching you live. Gabriel Jamfi, I want to say good evening to you. And then there are other messages here I could have read, but signaling me say time not so, you know, yeah, the